Hi there guys, Hey Gory and Thunder, the Naked Reviewer here. With Halloween fast approaching, I thought today for our installment we'd look at Dead Space, EA's new survival horror franchise. Now, with EA, a lot of things are hit or miss, and when I say hit or miss, it's usually a big hit or a big miss. Like, let's look at EA's title Facebreaker. Now, I'd rather play an older EA title like Fight Night Round 3. But hey, it's not for everybody. But today, I'm here to tell you whether Dead Space has its own soul, or whether it's just a sci-fi zombie wannabe. Without further ado, let's get to the clips. In the story of Dead Space, you are Chief Engineer Isaac Clarke, traveling aboard the U.S. Kellion-class repair shuttle to the USG Ishimura, a Planet Cracker-class resource-gathering vessel which has requested immediate engineer assistance. Isaac's loyalties here are twofold, one to the company, to repair the vessel by all means necessary, and more personally, to find and if possible save his fiancée who is part of the medical staff aboard the Ishimura. The mood when you arrive changes from calm to urgent in a heartbeat, and doesn't let up through the whole first part of the game. The game has very few supporting characters, but those that are present are usually hardened survivors of the crew you came in with. My favorite being the captain of the Kellion. Even in a future so far away, his brilliant and selfless decisions save your ass on more than one occasion. These necromorphs are terrifying creatures. Like the undead of fantasy lore, each casualty adds another soldier to their ranks. However, I did notice a major plot flaw here at the same time, that being that there are two types of necromorphs, those that create corpses and those that recombinate dead biomatter into new necromorphs. I noticed that over 95% of the monsters in the game were of the first category, making me question, where the hell did all these necromorphs come from? After a while, it just stopped adding up. There just weren't enough biorecombinators, and I could reveal other plot flaws, but the reviews shall remain spoiler-free. The gameplay is where Dead Space really shines. The gameplay camera is all third person, and done in a style that reminds me of Resident Evil 4. When you aim your gun, your camera goes right to your shoulder and straight down the side of your gun. What makes the firepower in this game really interesting is that with the exclusion of the pulse rifle, all of the weapons are actually ship repair and mining tools. The emphasis on combat in this game is based around dismembering your enemies, ripping and severing limbs to inflict massive amounts of damage. One of the most terrifying combat situations is shooting a necromorph point blank in the face, seeing its head explode, and then it stumbles only to spring right back up in your face. These life forms are also relentless. Often you can take their legs right out from under them, only to have them pursue you by dragging themselves towards you with both upper appendages. Customization in this game comes in the form of power nodes, which can be used to power up your weapons or any part of your rig, from your air capacity and life bar to the power of your kinesis or stasis modules. Every item except for the consumables can be upgraded with power nodes. The kinesis module, which lets you move and throw objects, as well as the stasis module, which lets you slow down objects and enemies, add for some interesting combat and puzzle elements during the course of the game. As if all that wasn't enough, the game has various types of environments, standard ship being the most common, but the vacuum environments, where you rely on your oxygen supply and all you can hear is your own breathing, gives a new meaning to the old saying, in space, no one can hear you scream. Zero-G is another type of environment in the game. In Zero-G, you can maneuver and jump to any flat surface with some help from your grav boots. However, if there are enemies within the area, attacks can come from any angle, and often do. Enemies drop supplies, like ammo and sometimes health or credits. Credits can be used at the shipboard store to purchase suit upgrades, ammo, or new weapons. Schematics for new items must be found and returned to the store before they become available, so it really is worth it to look around. With all this stuff to keep in mind, it's not surprising that the game designers decided to put in an objective locator. Pressing R3 designates a blue line that guides you towards your current destination, constantly keeping you in the action. The music in Dead Space is best described as engaging. It's usually very intense and often includes classic horror movie noises to scare the poop right out of you when combined with the environment or a necromorph ambush. There were a couple of moments when I could have sworn I was starring in James Cameron's Aliens, all thanks to the music. The scores were composed and performed with the help of Rob Abernathy and David Graves, two names that I look forward to watching closely and wish the most success. So what did I really think? This game is amazingly well designed and fun. There's one poorly designed part that involves blasting asteroids with a cannon, and some of the sci-fi elements, like all the video screens you'll communicate with, will wear old, but are nonetheless necessary. Oh well, every game usually has a flaw or two. Once you really get into the game, it becomes an engaging experience and has a story that will keep you thinking on your feet. The added trophy support for PS3 adds even more replayability, and there's also some downloadable content available already, but I think it should have just been in the game at launch. Plus, like a friend of mine coined recently, I'm not willing to give into a future of gaming microtransactions just yet. All in all, Dead Space for PS3 scores a 9 out of 10. If you can only afford one scary game this holiday season, give this new franchise a spin.